I'm so excited. We are behind the scenes at New York Luxury Bridal Market here with Paulette Cleghorn in this fabulous suite at the, is it called the Lot Hotel?
It's called the New York Palace Hotel. It's the Latte Palace Hotel.
Ah, the New York Latte
Latte.
Palace
That's what,
Hotel. I
yeah.
love it. And how many seasons have you been showing here?
Oh, we've been showing here for about 10 seasons.
Wow,
Yeah, this is sort of our home.
that's
It's become our
fantastic.
showroom.
It has become your showroom. And just, you are a bridal designer.
Hmm.
You have been working with Yumi Katsura for how long?
Oh my goodness, I think this is my 12th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so tell me what your role is
Oh
because it
my, what's my
encompasses a
role
number of
isn't.
things. What is your role now?
So my role is the creative director and head designer for Yumi Katsura. Yumi Katsura International, and then there's Yumi Katsura. So the company is Japan based.
Hmm.
So my job is to create westernized versions of the original Yumi Katsura brand and to do my best to maintain the integrity of all the Japanese aesthetics that come with the brand.
And for people who don't know, Yumi Katsura was a very important designer.
Yes,
Early days of coming
yes.
to America, bringing this beautiful aesthetic to the
Hmm.
West. Can you tell us about her?
Yeah, Yumi Katsura, she was incredible, a trailblazer. 60 years, she actually
Wow.
just passed 2 years ago
Right.
and has blazed all kinds of trails. The first member, the only member in Bridal that was actually a part of an haute couture society. Everybody says they're
Really?
couture, but you know they're not. So there's actually a society, and she is the only person in our industry that has ever been in the haute couture society
I
with
didn't know
Chanel and
that.
Dior and Balenciaga, all of those amazing brands. So
Wow.
that's right there. That's
And
huge.
as a female designer,
Yeah.
she was what year did she come leave Japan? Well,
Well,
not leave,
six
not
no no
leave.
no 60 years ago, she actually her mother was a seamstress. That's always how it starts.
Okay.
And she was a journalist, but also was a seamstress too. So she went to Europe to do some interviews for some Japanese publications, and so she was there to interview celebrities. So she interviewed actually Grace Kelly. She
Wow.
interviewed Audrey Hepburn, several of the leading ladies at the time, and she was just completely smitten. At this time, she fell in love with the white dress. She met this fantastic man named Pierre Cardin.
Okay. That
Yeah,
man.
yes. And she told him of her dream was to to design wedding gowns.
And he was already an established designer.
Yes, already an
Okay.
established designer. And he told her, go for it. So after she left Europe, Paris, she went back to Tokyo and opened her first little atelier with her mom.
That's
Yeah, and that's how
amazing.
it started. And then she actually was the first person to bring the white dress to the East.
That's something because
Yeah.
what did bridal look like before? It was
Well,
brocade,
the
right?
the Japanese aesthetic, the Japanese bride wore Shinto garments. So it's, the it almost looks like a kimono with the big bows and the
Right.
obis. And they still do wear that. But now they have a ceremony where they wear the white dress
Yeah,
in
the
addition
white
to.
dress has
So
gone all over
she
the
is
world.
known to have brought the white dress to the East, not just to Japan. So she's pretty amazing. Literally, you walk down. I used to walk down. I remember one day we were walking down the Avenue of the Americas, and literally people would get on their hands and knees and start bowing.
Oh my
Oh, walking
goodness.
backwards and say, "I was, what's happening?" Well, it was unbelievable.
How did you come to know her and work with her?
That's a really good question. So, interestingly enough, my first job with Yumi Katsura was so when we started this business. I come from, it's an interesting background. I was more of a redesigner.
Mm.
So we brought designers from other countries. So they came to us and said, "Hey, we want to bring this Japanese designer to America." And so we basically have to sit there and rework everything to target the American consumer.
Hmm.
So I was more of a consultant to the brand in the beginning. So fast forward, we decided that we needed to hire a designer from the West. It could have been Europe or America. So we brought in all these portfolios from some amazing people, and it just kept saying no. And then, you know what? I said, you know what? I think I know what she wants. So I was like, I'm just going to make a little portfolio and send it in. So they said, hire this person immediately. And I was like,
And
oh,
it was you.
it was me.
I love it.
It's hilarious.
That's great, though.
Yeah,
but
because
you
I knew what she wanted. And I decided at the time I would just devote my time to doing this. And I loved what the brand was all about. It wasn't just about making clothes. It wasn't frivolous. There's actually an aesthetic to it. There's like a religious component, a spiritual component. You know, it wasn't just about dresses. Like every dress sort of has a hidden meaning. And I love stuff like that. So it was right up my alley.
And so she's haute couture.
Yes.
She loves the white dress. She's
Yes.
making bridal.
Yes.
How is this bridal being received in the Americas?
Oh, goodness. Of course, when the brand first came, a lot of the gowns from Japan were more theatrical.
Mm.
So it was more costumey.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to take that aesthetic because it was beautiful, but it wasn't really wearable.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just had to make them wearable. So we have certain cuts, like some of our ball gowns. You know, ball gowns usually cumbersome and big and heavy.
Right.
Ours are big and, you know, voluminous, but they're light as a feather because we'll have a cut, like a trademark cut called the origami cut. So when the dress opens up, it opens like origami and it just flows like air without, you know, having that heavy undergarments and the, you know. So
and was that a technique that she perfected?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. She was very, very committed to the Japanese sensibility.
Mm-hmm.
That she said, I want to bring Japan to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And she did. You know,
That's
she opened a salon in Paris next door to Chanel. These were all, you know, 34 Rue Cambon. Unfortunately, the salon closed during COVID. But we had a Madison Avenue salon as well at one time. But yeah, she was definitely, you know, she said, I want to bring Japan to the West, but I wanted to bring the West to Japan. So she was like, she was known as a cultural ambassador in Asia.
And just in terms of female designer, you know, even today, there are not that many female designers, certainly not at the top. And she was at the top, it's 60 years of being
60 years of being. One of the other things about Yumi was that she was very much into size inclusivity. I mean, from the beginning. So one of the first missions that we discussed that she wanted to relay with the brand was that she wanted to do a full size range. So we were one of the only couture houses to do 0 to 32.
And starting when?
I'd say starting about 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And also you even have some samples so people can actually try on.
Absolutely.
Because that's one of the challenges. And I get how expensive it is to have samples.
Yeah.
But if you're committed to inclusivity, they need to be able to come in and try it on, and it's not just a hanger test.
I mean, there are a couple of stores that are curve stores.
Right.
And they love the garments, and they love the fact that they're able to go in and buy a couture garment.
That's beautiful. You know? Okay, so I want to go backwards because, you know, how did you get here?
Oh,
so
God.
You are from Jamaica, West Indies, correct?
I was born in Jamaica.
Yeah.
I was raised in Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Toronto.
So how old were you when you moved?
Permanently, we go back and forth.
When I left
Jamaica, 7 is when we stayed in Toronto, but we go back and forth before. So in the early 70s, so I'd say 1974, 75, there's a lot of political violence going on in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. And my parents were business people. And of course, there were times when we didn't know if we were going to have parents,
because they were,
just killing everybody. And it was the same time. I actually went to Jamaica a couple of years ago. I went to the Bob Marley house in Hope.
I've been there, yeah.
It was literally the same time when they attempted to shoot him.
Oh my goodness.
That they shot my father.
They actually shot your father.
My father was murdered, was killed.
Oh my gosh.
Or was assassinated or whatever. Yeah. And so our family basically literally had to split up. And I was sent to Canada to live with my aunt and uncle. My sister was sent to Connecticut to go to boarding school. My other sister married a lovely Jamaican man. And so we were just all split up.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your
Crazy.
parents were together.
Hmm.
Do we know why he was murdered?
Because they thought that he was on the wrong party affiliation.
Hmm.
And he had something. And at the time, it was really sad,
Of course.
because he was definitely a pillar in the community. He was known to be one of the kindest people, like always giving back and supporting local people. I mean, he was amazing. My dad was amazing. So it was
And you're 7 years old.
7.
So what does that do to you? I mean, you knew he was your daddy.
That's my daddy, and my wonderful daddy, not just my daddy.
Wow.
That's my super daddy. Stunning and kind. And I was literally, we had a funeral. Because of who he was in the community, we had sort of like a state funeral.
Mm.
Then all of a sudden I was on a plane going to live with my aunt and uncle, who became my parents.
Where did your mother go?
I was very fortunate because I had two moms.
Right.
And a new dad, which was my uncle. And it was a blessing. It turned out to be a blessing.
Go?
They were afraid that they were going to kill us, all of us. So we sort of had to split up.
To be safe.
And my mom to be safe. And so my mom had to sort of settle or whatever business there was in Jamaica, in Montego Bay. And yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot.
You just never know what people are going through, man.
You never know.
And so there's always a blessing in whatever the experience is. So you went to Canada,
to Toronto
with your
my aunt and uncle,
who did they have children?
Yes. He's 3 years younger. My little brother.
Oh.
Yeah, and
so
at the
then
time,
you had somebody to care for.
I had somebody to care for, but at the time too. So this was in the early 70s. In 1969, Canada, the Prime Minister was Pierre Trudeau, and Canada was the second largest country in the world, but it was tremendously underpopulated, and so they opened the borders of Canada to any British Commonwealth country that you could come to Canada and get citizenship.
Wow.
Or get like a green card, what you call it here. It's landed immigrant. That's what we called it. So you could come there as long as you were from any British Commonwealth country. So that's how all the islanders got to Canada.
Know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
because I know they've always been so welcoming.
Oh yeah, that's how. And
but
most went to Toronto. Yeah, it was a program. It's like come to Canada. And it was amazing. So this was still early in this time. So growing up with these amazing people from all over the world was one of the best. Like, it was incredible. I ended up going to a school, Regal Road, where they had a program called Operation Salad Bowl.
What was that?
It was of the American system. So in America, you come here and you melt into a melting pot and become fondue like an American. Right. We wanted to become a salad where we had a tomato and a lettuce and a radish and a cucumber, and everybody maintained their identities, but together we were beautiful.
I like that. I never heard of that.
Yeah. And so growing up, I went to Greek school, I went to Hebrew school, I went to all of these things. It was amazing. So every holiday, I know what's going on. We went to mosques, we went to all of these things. So we were open to everything. This was like everybody mattered. We went to Buddhist temples. We did all of these things. So our parents, of course, had to agree that we could do all of this stuff, but it was phenomenal. It was a great way to grow up. Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Dream Leapers with Harriette Cole. We are here on location with Paulette Cleghorn. It is New York Bridal Week, New York Luxury Bridal Week, and we're behind the scenes with her learning about her journey to get to where she is today. So you go to Canada, you are completely welcomed.
Yes.
This program, which I'd never heard of. But,
Operation Salad Bowl.
I never heard of it, but I understand. I mean, I have the sense of welcoming. The Canada has always been even before that with the Underground Railroad. People went to Canada.
Oh yeah,
and were able to flee slavery. Canada has always been that place that said, "Please come."
The true North, strong and free.
And so, as a child, you're reacclimating. You're becoming family with your aunt, uncle,
and I'd been before, so it wasn't like my first time going.
Okay, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
what are you dreaming about when you're a little girl? What do you think you want to do with your life?
Wow. So of course I was a dreamer.
Yes, yes.
Always creating alternate realities because at the time I had to. Um, but I remember when we were 13. So basically a rewind. Every summer I would come to New York
Ah,
because at that by now my mom had moved to New York.
okay.
So I'd spend summers with my mom.
Oh, nice.
But I liked my life there.
Hmm.
So that was kind of like a little weird, but
You now have two families.
I had two families and I loved it. So I'd come and spend summers with my mom in New York City. I mean, when I got here the first time, I remember how 8th Avenue used to be with all the drag queens and
Oh, yes.
the crazies and the hookers. I was like, this
This
is
is in
my
the
place.
80s.
This is in the
In
80s.
the 80s, yes.
I was like, this is where I belong. I saw the subways with the graffiti. I was like, my tail was wagging. I was like, where? This is like Mecca. This is heaven. I
it was
just
stimulating.
beyond stimulating. I just felt so connected. I felt like, when you charge your cell phone, and every time I came back to New York, I was like, somebody just plugged me in,
Wow.
and I was a different person. But all of this stuff, I remember my family would be like, "Oh, you like New York? It's disgusting.
Right. It's
It's like,
dirty.
oh,
It's disgusting.
Toronto is immaculate. Why would you even
Yeah.
like this place? Why do you want to go there?"
Right.
But I just found it. People breakdancing on the street, dancing like music, Washington Square Park. I was just like, it was like living in theater. So I said, when I grow up, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm going to live in New York.
You just knew that.
Yeah. I wanna live in
Loca, New York.
And they'd laugh at me. Oh, you're so weird. I was like, I'm living in New York. That's not a job. Oh, yeah. Whatever job I have, it's going to be in New York.
Okay. Well, you knew that.
So, yeah. So I don't even know what the question was that you asked me
Well,
now. But
what were you dreaming that you
I
wanted
dreamt
to
that
do?
I dreamt that I wanted to
you wanted to
live
be
in New York. So New York became like my dream.
And how did fashion get incorporated into the dream?
Fashion was always incorporated in the dream. So of course, being in Canada, we didn't even have a black radio station. We got WBLS from Buffalo, and it was like a party. I was like, woo, we got WBLS. Anyway, of course, we would read the Ebonies and Jets and all of that stuff.
Right.
So,
and were you living in a black neighborhood?
No.
No. Okay.
Not at all.
I mean, they did
It was
exist.
I was living in a lot of immigrants.
Okay.
So my neighbor was Italian, another one was Korean. But we were like this because we came and we were doing the same thing together.
Okay.
So it was a lot different.
Yeah.
Than it is. It was culture shock to come here and see how polarized everyone is. It was like, what? It was today. So actually, it's still shocking to me.
They had true
community
and people from all different backgrounds.
Oh my gosh, we would go to each other's homes and have dinners and so that was normal.
So wait, so to that point, I just want to dig a little deeper because this is, the experience. I'm from America. I grew up in Baltimore,
yes,
which is very segregated, was and is very segregated. I went to college in DC, very segregated. New York, amazingly, even though everyone is here, it's still pretty segregated. And so, and racism was and is predominant. No matter what, you cannot escape it in some ways.
Amen.
That is not your experience in Canada, huh?
No.
So when you confronted racism, or did you even notice it? Because like my husband's Jamaican, he didn't notice it.
Yeah, you kind of don't.
He's like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? What am I talking about?
It's definitely a little weird.
So
it's different. It's different. You definitely notice it here.
Yeah.
But growing up in Toronto, I did not. I felt like, again, I went to that school, the hippy dippy school where everybody was equal and happy, and we respected each other's cultures and religions and orientations or whatever. Right. So I was raised that way. Also, it's interesting being raised that way, but I was like a pastor's kid too. So in addition, so they had to be pretty cool to let me go to the school. You know what I mean?
They were not nearly as strict as some pastors.
Yes. Right. They were open. They wanted me to
What was the denomination?
Oh, honey, I was a holy roller.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm still a holy roller, low key.
Okay. All right.
Low key. but not like, at the same time. I mean, we have I don't know. I have certain things that I would be considered conservative about, but not any bit. No, more financial
But
than.
so your experience of being in Canada and then being in America and just being a black woman, a West Indian
Hmm.
woman, navigating in a space that is
You see, in Canada, Harriet, we growing up, all of these immigrant communities was about working hard. There are
yeah.
jokes. I don't know if you remember Living Color.
Of
Jamaicans had
course.
16 jobs.
Yes.
You had to do whatever you had to do to get your house.
You did.
You had to buy your house. You had to get your car. You had to get your kids in the right schools. This was just normal.
Right.
So we had to do whatever we had to do. And I'm telling you,
And
the
it was just
16
about the
I was
work.
just right. Work. You got to work. You got to work. And the Italian guy next door had to work and work and work and work. So the next generation could be better off. And that's how we all work collectively. So it was more of an immigrant.
So it wasn't working against each other.
No.
It was just working.
It was like immigrant communities supporting
Yeah.
immigrant communities.
Got it. Wow. And so back to fashion.
So fashion. So Ebony Fashion Fair.
Yes.
I was obsessed. I would cut out all the magazines. My room was wallpapered with Ebony
Oh my
Fair
goodness.
and Jen. I knew all of the women.
Couture.
Oh, I knew all of the women.
Yeah.
I had Mrs. Johnson and Mr. Johnson. I was going to be Mrs. Johnson when I grew up. And I was going to go to all the fashion shows. And I had all the models, everybody. I was obsessed with that whole thing.
Wow.
But also when I was 12, I got a modeling job. Do you remember Black Gamma Furs?
Yes.
I got to be the Black Gamma. I got
Yes.
some Black Gamma Furs. Yeah.
Right.
So
and that was huge,
Huge.
back then.
So my first time getting on a public transportation by myself, I was 12, and I had to meet my mom at the doctor on a streetcar. So she was like, get on it when you get off school, and you're going to get off at College Station. Just get off at College. So one woman was on this train with me and says, oh, have you been modeled? So I was like, no. And I was like, are you kidding me? Some strangers talking to me on my first time. So she got up and came to the doctor with me. And he talked to my mom and said that I should be a model. I was 5'9" when I was 12.
Me too.
And yeah, see?
I started modeling at 13.
See?
I did. Yeah, that's what we did. We were tall and skinny.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, I can do that.
Oh, so she said, because we're so conservative, we can't do anything, but we can do certain things.
Right.
So yeah.
And your mother let you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was John Casablanca, and I did mostly
Wow.
showroom stuff.
Okay, so that was safe.
It was very safe. And there's
Yeah.
a store in Toronto called Holt Renfrew, which is kind of like
yes,
Saks
yes.
or Bergdorf's here, and so I did a lot of in-store stuff. So that's it.
So
But I wasn't allowed to do like swim
runway.
stuff or runway. Yeah.
Right. But your entree into fashion was as a model.
Yeah.
Because somebody followed you to the
But
doctor.
right? It's my whole life has been like I thought I was gonna be a lawyer. So, so she laughs.
My
And then a
father wanted me
diplomat.
to be a lawyer
See?
too. It didn't work out.
It didn't
Yeah,
work out.
we got these similarities going.
So this is crazy. And so I grew up in a sample room, and I didn't know this. I didn't think this was a job because this was kind of like fun, and I made like money on the weekends or got to go after school and do fun things that other people didn't get to do.
Right.
I remember I'd take my friends out to fancy restaurants when I
You
was in
had
like high
money.
school. Yeah, I was the fancy friend, and yeah.
So how did it translate
Yeah.
from modeling and
Mm.
having your little pocket change, which was really nice to have?
Pocket change was really great. So fast forward, when it came time, remember my goal in life was to live in New York.
Yes, New York, New York.
So time for college, and I wanted to go to school in America. They were like, nope, because I'm a foreign student now. So coming here, it's extremely expensive.
And it's extremely cheap in Toronto. Was it even free?
It was very cheap.
Yeah.
So I was kind of smart. So I could almost go to UFT. I was going to go. They wanted me to go to UFT, but I didn't want to live at home. I wanted.
What is
something different.
UFT?
University of Toronto.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Or I thought maybe I'll go to McGill, but then I wanted to get away from home.
Everybody
so-
knows about McGill.
McGill.
That's a really good school,
a really
right?
good school, yeah. Or I could go to University of British Columbia because that's kind of British Columbia is fabulous, but it was really far, so I was a little scared. So this is a funny story. So a friend of mine went to school in New York State. So she went to Niagara University, which is 2 hours away from home, but out of the country.
Right.
So she's like, oh my God, I love it in America. They have these, you should see these step shows they have with these black guys. Oh my God. She's just like, it is the most like amazing thing. You're gonna die. You have to come to see the step show. You know, these fraternities, like, oh my God, we don't have those. So of course, I go to her school and I go to the step show. I was like, oh my God, I need to go to school here.
University of Niagara. I don't even know that school.
Niagara University. It's like a Catholic university, which is hilarious.
Wow.
So I go to the step show. Literally, I waited till Monday and went to apply in person to go to the school.
And did you go?
Yes. Only to find out that none of these guys went to the school. They were
visiting.
They were from
That's
Syracuse
funny.
and Buffalo and all these other
I've never heard of Niagara, but okay.
They were from all these other schools in New York. Oh my God.
But so did you study fashion there?
No, I studied, oh my God, I was political science and religion because I was going to be a diplomat, don't you know?
What was the first fashion job?
My first fashion job?
Not
After
modeling
school?
after school.
So my first fashion job was, I fast forward, I ended up moving to New York. I was going to go to law school, but I want to take a year off. So this was my coming to New York and finding myself and all of that stuff. So I was like, okay, New York is great, but you need to have a lot of money to enjoy yourself here.
True.
So remember, I go through the Times classified section and I was like, okay, 6 figures, stockbroker. I hate math, but I like 6 figures. So that's kind of how it was.
Yeah,
maybe I could do that. So I put on my one wool suit. It's middle of summer. Go on this interview for this petty brokerage company. I walked in. There was not a woman. There was not a minority of any sort. All these white guys with big teeth and they were orange with big hair. And I was like, what on earth? They offered me vodka on my interview.
Oh, wow.
It was hilarious.
What year is this?
1990.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, y'all.
Oh, wait.
No, this is the cliffhanger. This is Dream Leapers with Harriette Cole. Paulette Cleghorn is taking us down many paths. There are many paths.
I have a crazy life.
But Paulette Cleghorn is a bridal designer, a luxury bridal designer for the brand Yumi Katsura, and we're continuing. Okay. So I got to get to the fashion, and we're almost.
I know, right? This is crazy.
Okay.
So where was I?
So I want to know. We know
Fashion.
that you're not taking this job where they offer you vodka in 1990.
Took the job.
You did.
Yes.
You took the job. Okay.
I wanted money.
Okay.
Hated it. I'll tell you about that another time. But fast forward, I ended up playing hooky one day from work, meeting this woman in Bloomingdale's on my way to work. I got off the number 6 train, went to Bloomingdale's, met this woman. We were at the sale rack looking for stuff, a men's sale rack, looking for stuff for a boyfriend. So she said something to me, and I go, "Are you from Toronto?" She was like, "Yeah." How'd you know? I said, "You sound like you're from Toronto."
Yeah, there's a sound.
Fast forward, what are you doing? She's like, "Oh, I'm here opening the body shop in America."
Right.
And I was just like, "Oh, I love the body shop." Blah 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 blah. What are you doing? So of course I'm embarrassed because I'm playing hooky from work. So I'm like, well, anyway, fast forward, I ended up getting a job with the body shop and staying there for 10 years. Ended up becoming head of media relations and the spokesperson for the U.S. division.
And the body shop was huge.
Huge. Yeah, 1,500 stores.
Right.
And my boss, Anita Roddick, was the 5th richest woman in the world.
Wow.
And the most inspiring human being ever.
So then you're working for a woman leader too, which is great.
But fashion has always been in the back of my mind. Again, not knowing that it was a job where you could actually make money, like on the other side of it. So I remember, do you remember Margot that worked at Parsons?
Margot Turnquist, yes.
Okay, so Lewis, we added Lewis after. So one year we were launching a line at the body shop. One year we were launching a line of hair styling products. And I was like, this is so boring. So my job was head of product media. So I'm like, they want me to make a line of hairstyling products that everyone else has. Exciting. This is ridiculous. So I'm like, you know what? Fashion Week's coming up. I'm going to see if I can do a runway show using these hairstyling products. I'm going to do something like hair throughout history. We're going to go from the beginning of time to cavemen to now. And at the time, Pulp Fiction was like the big movie.
Okay.
So I was like, well, how am I going to do this? So I'd met Margot at a party.
Margot was amazing.
Called up Margot. I said, Margot, this is my. She was like, oh my God, that's fabulous. Let's do it here at Parsons. We did the most amazing show during Fashion Week at Parsons, and it just like, okay, I miss this. This is where I think I'm supposed to be. Fast forward, a designer that we collaborated with for an ad campaign with the Body Shop was Manali, who was a bridal designer.
Yes.
Who is now like my sister. I became friends with her because we used her dress in our campaign. That's how I got into bridal.
Wow.
Yes, that's how I got into bridal. So again, by now, I'd actually left my job. I was like, I need to get a life of my own because I needed the Body Shop life. And if you remember, the Body Shop was not just about cosmetics. It was it was a very socially responsible company that we were the first to talk about body image, the first to talk about race, the first to talk about ageism, sexism, like everything. We had the first campaign about AIDS and violence against women. So it was an amazing company to work for.
Yeah.
And I going to work every day was like a high. It was a drug. Every time I'd work 18 hours a day and feel depressed when I left because I was missing something. One day I was like, I need to get a life, my own life. I don't have my own life. I need to get married. I want to have a kid. I'm never going to have this staying here. So I quit. And so this is when Manali calls me up one day and says, I need help. We got this huge order from Neiman's and we have no idea what we're doing. So I was like, can you afford me?
After you quit your job.
Right. She's like, no. And I go, so I'm not getting paid? I was a little bored. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll come in and help you one day a week. That's how I got into fashion, into bridal, back into fashion. Because I never really left. Officially,
but so you work for Manali.
So from the business side of things and sort of redesigning a little bit, we went from doing like 269,000, I think, into 3 million in a year. And I was like, that was fun. That was kind of fun.
And what was your role?
I ended up becoming like the head of the company just because, let's steer this into a new direction and, lay some new trails and just do things the way I learned so much from
the Body Shop.
Yes. So with the Body Shop, I learned so much about just global trade. So understanding that part of the business too it made this like easy. So, and it was fun. So I was like, here I go again. I'm wrapping myself in someone's company and becoming, this person and not having my own life. I need to have a kid. I'm going to be like.
So when did that happen?
When I quit Manali. I need to get married.
How old were you when you got married and had your child?
29. I got married. I didn't have my child until 34. But this was like my whole.
But also that's very New York.
Yes.
Because a lot of men always did it, but a lot of women, as you were coming up, were building a life first. Building a life first. But the good news is you were able to get married and have a kid. Which is a huge blessing.
Yes,
right? Yeah, absolutely.
And we have one kid. We both have one kid.
We have one kid. We got a lot of similarities on here. So
yeah.
And then when you left Manali, what did you do?
That's when I went and had my son, and I stayed home I thought I was going to be a stay-at-home mom.
How long did that last?
About a year.
Good. I'm kind of surprised.
I really tried to.
I can't imagine. Sorry, but I can't imagine you just.
But I did. Oh, honey, I had fashion shows at home.
Of course you did.
We started the Essex County Education Fund, and we had fashion. We had B. Michael. We had everybody in we had a fashion show in our yard.
You figured it out.
We figured it out.
To bring it somewhere.
And then I said, okay, let's come back and figure out what I could do part-time maybe. And I said, you know what? I have all this experience bringing designers from various parts of the world into America. Again, my relationship with the trade community. So that's how we started bringing in French designers, Italian designers. That's kind of how we started.
Bringing them in where? What do you mean?
To America, to the American market. It's very difficult to succeed in the American market.
So where were you working to do this?
So we started Designer Law.
You started it?
Yes, myself, Manali, and Liz Selassie, who still is at
Designer Law. Oh, wait, Designer Law.
Liz is an attorney. So I was like, Lizzie, do you want my job at Manali? That's, you have no idea. She's like, I don't know anything about fashion. I go, it's really easy. You come here and all you have to do is run the company. You don't have to do anything else.
I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
she was at Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, and she was like, I hate my job. I'm coming. I was like, great. I'm going to go have a baby. I'll be really thrilled if you come and take my job.
So the three of you started Designer Loft.
So we
and-
brought in European designers. So that's how we started.
And when did you start that? How long has it been now?
We started Designer Loft in 2002.
Okay, so now you are bridging being home and having this business with your friends.
Yeah.
At what point do you jump in and
just
go
start
full-time?
designing?
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting requests from people because they, knowing our reputation of bringing in, or consulting as well. So I got Disney. They wanted to start a bridal collection for grown-ups.
Disney. Okay.
Yeah. So we ended up working with Kirsty Kelly to create the first ever Disney fairy tale weddings collection for the adult market.
Wow.
And it was a huge success.
When was this?
Girl, Disney was, when did we start Disney Bridal? Disney Bridal was in 2007.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
right
the first
before the
ever.
economy crashed. Were you impacted by that?
Not really, because again, the Disney customer is the Disney customer, regardless.
And no matter what, they want Disney, and that's it.
Yeah. So it was really amazing. That was a learning experience. Like, to work with a company like Disney, you learn. Again, I'm just a student of life. I love learning, and so to be able to go in and put on the garments and go into the labs where the very first creation, the very first Snow White sketches and drawings were made. You're wearing the gloves and seeing these things. I was in tears. Like, it was the most incredible experience, I think, ever, work-wise. And
so you do that, and what happens after that?
Yumi. And then that sort of just took over, and I ended up having to drop all of my other jobs because this became my job. And so, they made it worthwhile for me to do that. And so it was nice to be able to focus on one thing and balance my life as a mother and a wife.
I mean, it's very interesting trajectory that you just described. And you were able to work with really strong women.
Oh, so, God, yes. They're like the inspiration too, because we just lift each other up all the time,
And to be first, is her name Roddick? Is that what you said her name?
Anita Roddick.
Anita Roddick.
Yes.
At Body Shop, just at a time when businesses are growing, but there still are not that many women leaders.
No.
And then, of course, when you start Designer Loft with your friends, these are three women.
Three women from different.
And it's still working.
Yeah, it's still working.
And by the way, because I met Liz recently and was in the space, and it's inclusive.
You have to be, yeah.
Well, not everybody is.
Yeah, I mean,
not everybody is.
Not everybody is, but not everybody is lasting.
That's true.
So.
That's true.
Yeah.
And so after Yumi Katsura passed away, or even before she did, was there succession planning in place? What was happening?
I think Yumi probably believed she was immortal. She was in her 90s when she passed. Yeah, and she passed working.
Yeah, I was about to say she was still working.
She was still working. I think she was happy with the group that she still had, the Japan, the international group, and us. And we had just done our first project together where, this is a funny story. I'll tell you my last funny story. So we get a call. We'd get a lot of weird phone calls. But this one, hello, this is Patty from Style & Company. And, we'd like to speak to Paulette. Okay, so my assistant at the time, Stephanie, says, Patty, she's called 3 times. I think Maybe we should talk to her. I don't, so I get on the phone. Hi, Paulette. So Princess Maha from Saudi Arabia has seen one of your dresses and she'd like to order it. I'm like, oh, where did she
Okay.
see it? Oh, in editorial something. Oh, okay. Fast forward, it was a dress that was made with Japanese archival fabrics, so it was more of an art piece. We said, okay, well, this was a Japanese archival art piece. We're gonna have to get back to you with a price. So we called them back. We told them the price, which was pretty astronomical.
Right.
Okay, wonderful. We shall wire the money. We were just like, oh,
Okay.
what? Okay, so they wired us the money. We were just like, this is real. So now our hearts are falling out because now we have to make this amazing dress to ship to Princess Maha in Saudi Arabia. Fast forward, we say 16 weeks for the delivery of this dress. Sight on scene, her royal tailors got in touch with us, gave us all the measurements, la la la. We did it, and I shouldn't have said her name, but okay.
Okay.
So we make the dress, ship it to Saudi Arabia. We get a phone call. Princess Maha, Patty calls. She's like, Paulette, Princess Maha, she received the dress. And we're like, okay. She said, this is the first time. I want you to know that she is front row couture customer, Chanel, Dior, la 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 la, front row couture. They have their gowns shipped in crates and coffins to them. Okay, this is the first time she's received a dress that required no alterations. I fall off my chair, and she wants to meet you.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, what? Oh, is she coming to New York? No, we want you to go to Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
What?
On that private jet.
Exactly. So I'm like, well, oh, what? I said, well, I'm not going to Saudi Arabia myself. I said, well, I just need to tell you, we have a fabric researcher, and she's based in Japan, and I need my assistant, Roger, who he does all of our measurements and blah 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 and blah blah. They want more dresses, and they want to introduce us to some other family members that want garments, blah blah blah. So we had the most fantastical experience of my life going with the Japan team. Oh. And I think we garnered a lot of respect from that trip
by bringing them all together.
Yeah, bringing it all together, because I didn't do it by myself. I was like, beautiful. These people or this,
Hey guys, this is Dream Leapers with Harriette Cole. We could talk to Paulette forever. I know you feel it too.
Oh, stop it.
What? We have 5 more minutes left.
Is that all?
Just 5.
Okay,
so
okay.
This has got to be part 1.
Okay.
But in this time that's left, I know that people listening are excited because they see your excitement, and you've had such a full life and career so far.
Blessed. Yeah.
And now you've taken over as the lead of this business that is continuing to do really well. What advice do you have for people who want to be fashion designers, especially now when it seems so hard?
It is so hard. I think if you want to be successful in the industry and you want to be different from everybody, it's like you don't go into the industry for the fabulousness factor. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people go into this business not understanding business. They want the celebrity, and they want this and they want that, and they know nothing about business. And they enter and then they disappear just as fast as they entered. And there's some incredibly talented people that don't have the business acumen. Find somebody that does, and learn a little bit about business, and your art will be, more, it'll last. I just think we go into it. I think a lot of people go into it with just the wrong perceptions, and there are people that are mediocre that are doing so well because they have the business side, and that bothers me all the time because I see some incredible artists. I'm like, God, why isn't this person like, and it's just, they don't have that discipline, or they don't have somebody to guide them in their business side. My old boss used to say, if you think you're too small to make a difference, have a conversation with a mosquito. And I never forgot that.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So I and you also have to, if you believe in yourself and believe you can do it, you can. There's no is never no. You know, maybe not now, but you got to keep at it if if something that you really, really want. You know.
What's next for Paulette Cleghorn? What is the vision?
I told you a secret that at some point this year I'm going to be launching a new collection.
Yes.
Um,
So reveal the secret, please.
No.
How is it new?
It's going to be my name, and it's going to be in September. We'll have a preview in September.
How exciting!
And you're the first person to know this. I told you that.
You did tell me, and I'm so excited. I can't wait
Yeah.
to see. Also, to see what you make that is you.
It's been very difficult to sort of say, okay, who am I again? The rewind.
What perfect timing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, true empowerment, full empowerment. We
Yeah.
can't wait. We can't wait.
I
Thank
can't
you
wait.
so much for talking
This was
with
fun.
us.
This went by really quickly.
So much fun. We appreciate you.
Of course.
And we can't wait to have a sneak peek of the dresses.
Okay.
Thank you.
We need to ask Harriette to come back. I remember that column.
Yeah, I still do it. 22
Okay.
years.
Yeah, that's
22
good.
years, girl.
Ask Harriette.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, have a great day and make it count.